Hello and welcome to Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji and today I'm joined by yugioh. Say what up.
How's it going, everyone? It's your local resident tier player. This deck has been through quite a lot when it comes to a ban list, but let me tell you, do I have such a very cool list that is going to be very effective into the new format.
All right, cool. So if anyone's new to the series, I bring someone on who knows what they're doing with the deck. They tell me what to do through a few games on yugioh Pro, and I try and do what you, the audience, would do and ask questions that make sense in the moment. GG will have no control over the cards. He'll tell me what to do, and I'll try and ask the questions based on the decisions he's making, so he'll have to explain it so that I make those plays. We'll do a quick card by card, and we'll discuss the choices in his deck list, which are pretty cool. Like I'm liking Needlebug Nest, that's a funny one. But it makes sense with this new trap card transaction rollback. So let's just do a quick card by card. We're on 2 Beast King of the Swamp, 1 Danger Mothman, 1 Nessie, 2 Malicious, 1 Happy, 3 copies of Imseti, 1 Night Sword Serpent, 1 Havness, 3 copies of Tear Cash, 1 Merly, 2 Rhino Heart, 1 Shiren, 2 copies of Vision Resonator, 1 Crimson Gaia, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Foolish Burial Goods, 3 copies of King Sark, 3 copies of Pearl Rhino, 2 Scream, 2 Needlebug Nest, 1 Meta Noise, 2 Sulic, 2 Rollback, 1 Trivia Karma, and the extra we're on 1 Dangerous, 1 Garura, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Dragostapelio, 1 Kaleido Heart, 1 Rukalos, 1 Baron, 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 Beatrice, 1 Zombie Vampire, 1 Totally Awesome, 1 Barricade Board Blocker, 1 copy of Dark Charmer, 1 copy of SP, 1 Sprite Sprint in the side, 3 Ghost Bell, 3 Cosmic, 3 Soul Release, 2 Super Poly, and 3 Evenly, and 1 Tearlaments Crime. But what's up with some of these choices and the ratios and this new interesting text for this crazy new card?
There's a lot to just go over here, and there's a lot of things that I'm already working with on changing. It's really interesting when it comes to this kind of a deck list because, again, it's a little unconventional, but I'm always known for being a little outside the box when it comes to making deck lists together and going to events with them. But I feel like I always see it from a different light, right? Because there's always a lot of different things that the deck can be doing. And sometimes when a deck gets hit as hard as Tier has, you have to change the identity of the deck. But sometimes you want to retain some things the deck has already been doing. So some people were playing like Pilgrim Reaper or just other ways to go ahead and mill. For me, I wanted to be really on a different angle. Meta Noise to me has always been a card that if it gets ashed, you're just like, wow, this card is awful. And so when you can activate Meta Noise from the grave because of transaction rollback, then it can't get ashed because all you're doing is copying the effect. It came into the same idea for me that you could play a card like Needlebug Nest, and even if you hard open it, you're still milling 5 in your opponent's turn, which is the entire objective, right? And it's really cool too because you play cards like Barricade, where you can go ahead and just get out of your hand, and then you can use rollback and then go ahead and mill 5 on your turn as well. So definitely very cool. A lot of really nice interactions there. You can side other traps if you want to, like Erad. I don't think that's bad either. There's quite a few traps, even like the Mayakashi trap, and a lot of people are looking at right now. That's essentially a turn skip.
There's a couple of cards that are currently like disputed on exactly how they're going to work with rollback. I think I've heard some weird stuff with Eradicator at the moment. They're still looking into whether it's going to work properly because it has some weird text about when this card is activated as part of the text, and technically you're not activating the card, you're just copying the effect. But fortunately, you're not playing any of the cards that are going to lead to that kind of issue at the moment.
Yeah, and funny that you mentioned that too, because somebody said that like you can look at their hand and their sets, but you don't blow anything up. That was probably the weirdest explanation I've heard from someone trying to like rule that. And I was not really sure that's ever how that's going to be because that just sounds really incorrect. So we'll have to see how Erad gets ruled because it's going to be quite the interesting situation.
Yeah, it's weird. We'll see how it gets ruled. It's a very interesting take. Fortunately, we're not going to have any trouble with like Needlebug Nest or Meta Noise, other than I think they made it clear that the activation condition of the trap card needs to be met, so we do need to control like a Tearlament or Visa Starfrost to do it.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and I can't wait to evenly someone with an empty board.
I've seen it.
There was like one DB grinder video, it definitely happened.
Yup.
Oh man, that was great.
Activate evenly, negate. That's fine. Roll back evenly. That's so tough.
All right, cool. Any other interesting choices that are worth mentioning? Let me.
So
most
we
things here
do
seem
play
sensible.
the Vision package. This is one that I've constantly taken in and out of the deck list, but it serves probably like 2 or 3 purposes. So one thing that it serves for me is that it's an instant Baron if you open way to Imseti, especially if you open like Imseti Vision, because you can go Imseti, Pitch, Vision, add Crimson, and then Imseti, add your Sark. Then you get to go Crimson, add back a Vision, and summon back the Imseti, summon the Vision, immediately go Baron. Another thing that serves is that sometimes you have Merely in your graveyard and you want to do a play with like the Shufflers, which is not currently in the list, and I've also contemplated putting those back in. But let's say that you want to chain link something a certain way, right? Like you have like a name that went to the grave at the same time that you're activating your sprint, and you want to be able to send Merely, but Merely's still in your grave. So now you have another 2 target in your deck that you can send. I've done that even in really weird situations where I've literally just made Sprint to send a Vision Resonator, so I had the 2. The other thing that I really like about this card is that it's just a free summon if you have a 5 or higher Dark on your board. So if you like Super Poly your opponent and you make a Garura, you can summon the Vision out of your hand and go directly into Sprint because Vision's a 2, and then you can like chain block with Garura if you need to. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with the Vision. The fact that like the guy I can add back from grave is really nice, but it is unfortunate if you mill the one of. It just is what it is. This variance.
At least
Besides
it's
that,
a level 2 inherent summon you can always do, because you're going to have high level darks on the field all the time.
correct. And I've also thought about playing like the 3rd Scream or like the 3rd Rhino. I know I've never been pilled on a 3rd Rhino, but been playing a couple different lists and testing things out. Not totally against it. I do think though that I'm potentially going to remove the dangers and play like the 3rd Beast King because you're already playing enough Aquas at that point. The only awkward part is that you're not playing the Dark Aqua, so it's like harder to get to the Garura play. That's why the Nessie is still nice to have. As far as like the side deck goes, the Evenlies could change. When I made this list, the Evenlies were like the call for the format, and it might change, and the Super Polys might go in the main deck, but we're just going to show you essentially what the deck can do right now, right? And then we'll worry about like side deck and things later. As that changes, go ahead and look at my channel for updates. The one card that is a mandatory sideboard right now is Soul Release. You have to play this card. Post Finite, your opponent has a bunch of level 1s in their graveyard. They have like Promethean Princess. You just go main phase 1, Soul Release, and just stare at your opponent if they don't have the Diabell Star Trap.
I actually saw there was a cool card being teched right now that people are like trying. What's it called? The made to order card, the when you banish a card in the graveyard and you take a copy. It's like Lullaby of Obedience from the graveyard. Even though it only hits one card, just hit Promethean Princess. Like, you don't have to add the card, it's optional. If you like that card, at least you could search Bonfire, and then Bonfire take their, what's that card? Populace, and just go off.
Yeah, that's really nice too. I've actually talked about that on stream because I was like, this seems like the format that we would use this, because we're not really worried about the Shufflers being engraved, and that's why we didn't use that in tier format, right? Because it was just too risky, but still a very strong card. Another thing that I really thought about was, so I always try to break the format down into like really simplistic terms, right? As far as something that you can just talk about and be like, this is going to be the format. And for me, it's Summon Appaloosa Turbo. So that's whether or not you're ending on IP or if you're ending on a Appaloosa, right? For me, I've actually even thought about playing 3 Cyber Dragon on my side and a Mega Fleet, which I think would be super fun to go ahead and just contact fuse away an Appaloosa. So something definitely to consider. Maybe that's just my striker brain coming out, talking about 3 Toon Table and Toon Cyber. But at the same time,
it could just be better to mind
good.
control it. That way you can use it yourself. That's an option.
Yeah, you absolutely could. It is at 3.
All right. Lullaby of Obedience is an interesting card also people are playing. I don't know if you'd play it in this deck, but Lullaby in a format where everyone's like Bonfire, Search Populace. Like, do you remember when Lullaby was played for Terratop and everyone was just making Invoker and summoning Rat?
Yeah, but now there's no deck verification, so that card's garbage.
You can Lullaby for Populace, and it either gets special summoned or add it to hand where you can special it. That's like the theory. Assuming you're playing that. All right, cool. Sorry if I broke the train of thought. Anything else? So Soul Release is good for hitting the graveyard. And
that about describes the deck.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll play a few games. We'll see if anything that is in the deck doesn't come up. Well, maybe I'll address it at the end. And yeah, that'll be that. Ready to roll?
It is. I've been playing a lot against it just to make sure I was prepared, though.
We lost the dice roll, but we have an interesting hand.
This hand is crazy.
I can see it if we went first. There's so many good things to dump. Hopefully they're doing is not too bonkers. Oh look.
Oh, our worst matchup.
At least they won't be shiftering. Prosperity over.
Yeah. This matchup is rough, let me tell you.
What do they do nowadays? I haven't played versus it since the Arise Heart ban.
It's just birth control. They will sit on Fenrir, Unicorn. There's actually a list that just won 2 regionals that is playing Heat Soul, like a ton of hand traps. They're actually on the Ogre, which means this build is garbage. But we'll see what more that happens here, because they're gonna be going for prep. It's just not that good.
I think I did see the Heat Soul deck. It like goes into Draco Sack, makes 2 tokens, and then the tokens become like Link Spiders or something.
Yep, the 1-2 regionals.
Yeah, I think I got first and second at a regional also, and the guys did like the profile themselves. That's probably what this is. I actually think they were on the Ogre. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think those cards are terrible.
No, I understand.
Uh,
I just think they may have been on it, but not sure.
It looks like this is exactly what we're gonna be dealing with here. Oh, never mind.
Okay, I guess we will try and find an opponent who isn't just like showing us a turn 1 combo that's done wrong. All right.
I guarantee you they forgot the Link Spiders. I guarantee you.
There's a good chance. I still feel like they would have done a lot of this sooner, right? I guess they have to do all their stuff first. All right, let's try this again. Draco Sack pass. All right, hopefully that doesn't happen too many more times.
That hand was crazy.
Oh man, I could not wait to play it out. I assume we would have done played decently through what they had. I guess we don't know what they would have really ended on.
We had to be really careful about Birth though, so we had to like discard Trivy and like dump Happy, and then you summon Happy and banish Trivy so your grave's clear, and then you can keep playing that way, because you have to make sure that you don't go to 3. So like a lot of people, they'll use Kingsire and discard 1 and send 1 with 1 card in grave, and then they get all 3 banished. So really make sure you're on top of that.
All right, we're up. What are we doing?
This hand either plays in a droll or plays around droll, and depends on how strong you want your end board. I would say that we play around droll because a lot of people are maining it for Finite. So I'd Foolish Burial, just dump the Solic, it's fine.
Solic. All right.
Yeah, you usually dump the Trivy, but dumping the Trivy, adding Planet plays into droll so bad.
All right. What are we searching?
Just gonna go for the Rhino Heart here. I'll activate Scream and just normal the Rhino. I always do Rhino as Chainlink too.
Any particular reason on that? Like, that means that they can respond with more cards specifically to Rhino and less cards to Scream?
You can respond with, like, Impulse and whatnot. So, like, if I know I'm playing against, like, Rescue or something, then it's one thing. The Rhino send off the rip isn't as important to me as a mill 3 off of, like, a Scream. So, for me, I'd rather always chain block to Chainlink 2 Rhino going first, because for me, I'm only dumping a tier catch, right? So, like, whatever I mill doesn't really matter. At this point, like, even now, we're in a really good spot. I would just go ahead and use the tier cache here. Let's go ahead and mill some more. Usually you want to use that Mally as soon as you can, but like there's no point to throw it on board now and like play more into Nib. Yeah, we'll just banish the trap. That's fine.
We hit Merly. Let me
Hit
double check
Merly.
Grave.
We'll make Rulk. We milled the Rollback.
Okay, so Rukolos?
Yeah.
Solid. No Nib. Does your extra deck matter for zones? Like, should I be putting this in a specific spot?
It does, it doesn't. I would just put the Rulk in the middle though, so we're not playing into like Animal or something random.
Gotcha.
Look at the grave, like fully spread grave. We have Happy. Okay. We're kind of chilling right now. So I would just activate Sark and then just dump the Imseti now. Having the Rulk up makes me feel a lot better about this board. We just bring them both back and go into Vamp. This is usually when I contemplate like real hard. If there's like a dark monster in their graveyard, I might go dark here and then go into Sprint and dump a Vision and try to get a Baron up. If like Rhino or Tier Cache with a dark monster on my board instead, I definitely just try to go for like the Sprint line and just be able to make a Baron real fast with the Imseti. And then you keep Happy on board, then even here you'd have the Rulk, Baron, Happy, and then you have the King Sark for follow-up and the Scream Mill 3.
All right, so Zombie Vampire.
Yeah, that also is very funny that Rukolos is also an 8. So if you're wanting to make like Coach King, you can do it. Okay. All right. And then also Dragos Tapelli is an 8, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. The amount of times I've used a level 2 tuner and Drago to make a Baron is crazy.
Let's take a look at what they milled. So they have Albaz,
Branded.
They have Nib, they have Droll. We hit the Serpent comes back.
This is kind of crazy.
I guess I should have put Vamp in the extra monster zone.
No, this is fine. So we get to choose here what we want to come back to the board.
They can see
so they're gonna scoop. That's fine though. So let's look at the grave option here though. So what we'd probably summon back here is going to be the. This is really interesting here. I would probably summon the Serpent, and then I would let the Shire infuse here, and then I'd probably summon the Mud.
Okay, that makes sense. So the mud can at least go into EMZ, then we can overlay for like shark.
Yeah, overlay for shark, and then you summon the toad, because you summon the shark and the EMZ as well. It'd be shark plus the serpent, and then I'd summon the main monster zone on the toad, and I'd probably link off the tier cache and the shark for an SP. So our board's pretty set up. It sucks that we don't have access to another 4, or else I try to dweller them if they're playing branded, because dweller's very good.
Oh, they're unbranded. So why don't we side for that real fast just so they don't bounce? Because that might happen.
I definitely need the super polys for sure.
All right.
Those are going to come up here. The evenly is here. I would assume the bells, which is fine. I would get rid of 1 rollback and 1 needle buff. And then here, I'd probably just take out the dangers. I don't really think we need them. Like I said, I'm thinking about taking them out anyway. And I'd take out 1 Imseti.
All right. Whoops, wrong one. All right, and go with this.
Yep.
Okay.
I would take out 1 Imseti going second, because I don't want to brick on those cards, because they're like fine going second, but they also don't really do a whole lot going second as far as like your actual engine. Like if you don't see engine going second into a board, you probably just lose. So I'm trying to focus more on that.
Okay, but you could also take out King Sark, but you prefer to take out the Imseti.
Yeah, because hard opening King Sark is busted. It's actually so good, because you can just do your whole turn and play however you want to play. That's hilarious, by the way. That does not matter at all. That's fine. Activate Imseti, pitch happy. Do we even care to, honestly?
What else would we do?
No, yeah, that's fine. I was about to say, because we could just pitch the alley, but we can always get rid of that out of our hand anyway.
Yeah, either way we get it out of our hand. But this we can definitively get in the graveyard, whereas this we can get the other one out of our hand if we get access to the King Sark, right?
Yeah, I would just pitch the happy. It's fine.
All right.
All right. Yep.
Ooh.
Busted.
All right.
All right. Yeah, they're just gonna scoop here. That's fine. Like looking at the rest of the hand here, because they already scooped, it's fine. We're definitely just gonna go like King Sark, pitch Trivy, dump the other Imseti. It's fine. The Malik can sit in her hand for a second, because we're gonna grab Perlerino. Then you can go Perlerino, add Shiren. You either can pitch the Mali or you can just pitch the Hobness. We still have the ability to use the Mali from hand. So what we'll probably do here is go Shiren, pitch Hobness, Effect, Engrave, shuffle back the Mali, and then you can go ahead and like pitch something out of your hand if you want to go ahead and do the dangerous play to get into a Beatrice. Like we have full line and like 3 different ways here, which is very cool. Plus the bells, like even if they tried to puppet lock us, we won that, which
I
is
feel like
definitely
this is
fine.
like a substitute for Puppet. Like, I'm not sure why else someone would play this. This feels like something someone who doesn't have a Puppet would do, like if they're playing their IRL deck.
I don't know. This is just weird to be in a branded deck. Like at the very least, you'd be playing a Ra's Disciple. Yeah, it is probably Chimera at the end of the day.
Oh, that makes
But
sense. They could bring it back
overall,
with Big Wing, right?
yeah, it's still not correct deciding against tier. It's fine, but
Let's say we
the
can get
dub
something
is
a little
there.
more sensible, someone who might
Yeah.
side better.
Those hands are crazy. I know that some of them look a little like weird, but as long as you know how to like
Yeah,
navigate,
it
you're
seemed a little
fine.
difficult to evaluate, but I could see it coming together. It was starting to make sense. You know what's never happened on the series? A stream snipe. Never. This hand looks pretty good.
It's interesting. It's gonna be a little weird though, but it still plays. So we're gonna mill 10 on their turn, which is correct. Imseti, pitch melee.
And then depending on what happens here, we'll know what we're doing.
Even a mill 10 on their turn, even through that, we're still fine.
Probably. All right, that's
Oh,
pretty
crazy.
good.
Yeah. So here we'll just go Perla Rhino. Let's see. Yep. So this is an interesting one. Where we're at right now, it's an interesting scenario to be in. I would say, because this is such a unique scenario, usually I would grab a Rhino and just dump like a tier cache, but I want to grab the tier cache here, and you'll see why. So if I'm getting rid of any of these cards right now, I'm activating King Sark real quick, and I'm dumping the Meta Noise.
And I'm happy.
And I'm just going to go directly in a Vamp here. Let's spin the wheel. Sometimes this deck is still a gamble. It always depends on how you do your lines, though. Because here we could have went for Rhino, dump a name, use the Mally, shuffle back into a Dangerous, and then dump the Mally and make a Beatrice. But I think that it's just like less optimal here. I think here you have to gamba.
Oh, I should have detached the...
It's okay.
Yeah, have a dark just in case we need to make like mud or something.
Oh, I agree.
So we hit one anyway, so same thing. We hit Scream, we hit Gaia, we hit Moth, And they hit a bunch of spells. Looks like we're up against Evil Eye. Yeah.
Okay, so their whole thing is using the spell and trap one. Some of this stuff actually banishes from grave and does things. So we milled the Crimson guy, which is a little awkward. I'm definitely just summoning back the Mothman here. I'm trying to Dweller them.
All right.
We can use Scream to search the Solic.
Is there a Dweller in this list? It was in the first list I saw, but it was in the side deck. I just want to double check.
It is in the side deck, but even at this point here, we just got to get things in the grave. It really didn't matter what we summoned here because we have to make the SP at least to get this thing out of the graveyard.
Gotcha.
So let's go into a tier cache here and banish the Scream. That's why I'm always so angry when I put the Dweller in my sideboard. It feels so bad. Yeah, mill some cards here. We got the Serpent. Excellent. All right, so, so we'll use the Serpent, and then we'll use the Trivy and grab Screen. We're about to mill so many cards.
Just the verifying. This one from Grave, what does it do? Oh, Nibiru.
That would be a Nibiru. This one, you can banish, discard an Evil Eye, add an Evil Eye, spell a trap. It's just a rudder for them. We'll get to mill 2 more here.
Rhino Heart.
Crazy. Rhino Effect. Pitch Solic. Let's go.
We've already used Solic, and we've used Scream, right? I guess it doesn't matter.
Pitch Solic.
Okay.
We have not used Solic yet.
Oh, I'm just mistaken. Order preference?
Chainlink to Rhino. Can I see a grave?
Yes, sir. We have several darks. I think we have Mally, so we can do Dangerous.
It's going to depend on how we want to play this here. It's interesting. This is where the Shuffler would come in handy really good. You either summon the Mally or some of the Dangerous off the Mally here and pitch one of your mill 5s, which effectively is just better in my eyes, or you just go for the hard negate here. So I think that we'll just go ahead and send the Hobness down, and then we'll add the tier cache.
All right. We've already summoned one. You sure you don't want Shiren?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. I'm not
Next
used to playing
turn, we
tier.
have the opportunity to mill 16 cards. Both Needlebug Nest, Scream, and tier cache.
Okay.
Go Mud.
Okay.
And then I'll probably just shuffle back let's just do the Vampire. I would usually do an Study here, so you have more consistency to see it, but putting back the Vamp isn't bad. Go into Mud, overlay in Bahamut. You can pop the Nib, that's fine.
All right. Bahamut Shark. EMZ or?
No, just down here is fine.
Okay.
All right. And then we can go ahead and detach the Rhino.
Should I be putting a Scream on the field? I feel like I've been missing it.
Not yet. No, it's fine.
All right. Detach the Rhino. Get the Toad.
Yep. It sucks because the token is a token. It's not really helping us any. It's always an interesting one. Do you want to do this here?
Mally and Shark for SP?
You could do... That's so awkward. It depends on what we want more here. It really depends on what we want more. Because if you use the Mally, you can't make a sprint unless you make a Dark Charmer, and you'd have to use the token because the... No, you wouldn't, right?
What, for Dark Charmer?
No, because... no, we're fine. But, like, if you use the Mally, then, like, you don't have anything meaningful to send because we don't have a Beast King in grave. Honestly, I would just activate Scream, set both traps, and just pass.
I'm very eager to see where these Needlebugs go.
It sucks that the Meta Noise is banished, but so, like, we have mill 16 right now. There's only 19 cards in deck, so we're going to hit everything. And then, like, if we fuse and put names back, yeah.
All right, just so we can proceed, so in case they don't going to leave or something.
We can mill a transaction rollback and mill another 5. No, Meta Noise is still in grave because we banished the Scream.
Oh, okay.
So we're chilling. So we have Meta Noise effect and mill 16 right now. That's going to add a spell a trap for them. Pareidolia. This is where the Shufflers are really good to have, but I just don't have them in the deck list right now. Honestly, I'm just going to negate that with Toad.
I assume they can activate it once per turn.
You can only activate. I'm just going to put them on better have another one at this point.
Preferable add back for Toad.
I'm just adding back another tier cache probably. The Rhino adding back is just not going to matter. Because the Rhino's just going to be in grave anyway. It's going to get used.
Another one.
They do have another Pareidolia. That's fine. Sure.
All right. Just let me know when we're ready to fire off Needlebug Nest.
Chain it to this.
One nest or both?
Just do one for now and we'll see where it gets us.
Makes sense. I don't think they can equip.
Oh, that's such a crazy mill. That's such a crazy mill.
Only 4 activatable cards.
So I would go Chain Link. Just pull up the cards here.
Yeah, I just gotta press the E. Oh, okay.
I would go... So you have to think about how you're going to chain this because you want to make sure your ad is going to be relevant. So I would go chain link 1. All right, chain link 1 will be, let me think here real fast.
I'll pull
Yeah,
up the
chain link
grave
1
also.
Solic, chain link 1 Solic, chain link 2 Shiren, chain link 3 Tear Cache. Because I want to make sure the Shiren goes back to deck, and then I can use the Shiren as the search target for the Solic.
Do we want to activate Rhino?
No, the Rhino can stay in grave. That's fine.
All right. Okay. We milled 2.
Did we just mill a Beast King? No shot.
We did Beast King and
Oh,
a
that's
King's Heart.
insane.
So
Make the Kaleido here and just get rid of the Cerzio.
okay, so Rhino and Grave, this thing, and
Rhino and
Toad. We have
Toad
Shark
is
still,
fine. Yeah, Toad is fine.
and then we keep Swamp if we want to like hit something else.
Can you bring up Paradolia as well?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right.
What are we adding to hand? All right, that's the one we just fused with, so I guess it makes the most sense.
Yep. All right, now there's gonna be a lot of things going off here. Use the Kaleido to spin the Paradolia, use the Perlerino to pop the Cerzio, and then use the Scream to mill. Where is the rollback? Can I see what I just milled? All right.
The Resonator, but we already hit the Gaia earlier in the turn.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's read this again. I think this is a token one. Send 1 and 1 and Evil Eye equip. For the rest of this turn, each time you activate a non-Evil Eye, you take 500. If you link summon a monster, you can banish card. Equip 1 from your grave to 1 you control. Can I see what he just sent?
He sent Vassal Trice and Gorgiano. Gorgiano
That's
can
fine.
add an Evil Eye spell trap by discarding an Evil Eye
already
card.
used it.
Yeah, and this one, I think it has. If you control an Evil Eye monster and this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card with banish and lose the field.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely miss the shufflers in this deck, and I'm probably going to re-add them, but it's fine for now.
Do you want to try and special out Rokalos to negate his whatever special summon? Because if he doesn't have a monster, I don't think he can do anything.
Yeah, I would go ahead and flip the other nest now and just see what we get. Because I think the token generator is going to come up here in a second. Oh, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
used the Hobness here and summon the Rokolos. So we still have Merly in deck right now. So we still have a live meta noise target. Bro, so many people told me that this was cope. This is so fire. Like, this is so good.
This is seeming
I
really
love
broken.
this.
All right, so they're digging. I don't know what they're digging for.
They're trying to find it out for Rook. Because their hand is probably the token generator.
Booking their monster could also be just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. It just depends on if they have the tokens. Because you can't really do anything to that. This is going to be a huge downside if we don't have the... Yeah, he just got the imperm. That's so crazy. It's going to be really unfortunate here in a second, though, because we don't have the shufflers on the deck.
They take 5 every time they activate something that's not an Evil Eye card going for the rest of the turn.
That's going to hit the Rook.
Do we have a way to send it to the graveyard so we can bring it back?
We really don't. Because I don't have Solic. Can we see the extra deck real fast?
Yeah, sure.
We already used Planet. Yeah, no. We got to let it go. We could make a Drago. But we have to wait for the meta noise, I think. If he summons the tokens, then we'll just fire off the Drago. Because we have to Drago target it before they equip Selene to it. Special in 1 Evil Eye monster from your hand or grave. Or if you have Selene and you spawn Trap Zone, special 1 from your deck. Okay, so he's going to bring back like a Cerzio here. That's fine, sure. We're just going to meta noise that on summon. That's so broken, dude.
Merly?
Yep. Yep.
And what can we fuse? We can fuse this away into...
Yeah, it's fine, because the Mud Dragon's still underneath our Bahamut. Yep.
All right.
This deck list is so clean.
All right, so we're up
Okay.
against the most meta of decks. Thoughts on what to out it with, I imagine.
Evenly for sure.
It's a big trap
Like,
deck, right?
Evenly is coming in for this one. So they have a couple cards here that aren't going to be like great for Bell, I don't believe. Because I know Paradolia searches. They have the one that can special summon ones in hand or grave, but that's like if they control Selene, which they probably will. So this is going to be better for like targeted. Potentially the Cosmics are going to be fine here, but I don't really think that we're going to be too concerned about it. I think that we're just going to hope that we open like the evenly or we mill like evenly plus transaction here. So I'd probably side out like one rollback. I'd side out the nest and the meta noise. Because if we start milling and we mill like evenly plus rollback, it's going to be crazy.
The Imseti, like we did before?
I'd probably side out one Imseti, yeah. That's fine.
Okay. All right, let's go with this. See what
Yeah.
happens. Come on, I want to evenly empty board.
This is like fine. This is a really awkward hand, but like it's also fine. We have like the potential to send. They're gonna be firing off this really quick here. It sucks that both of our Rollbacks in our hands, so there's literally no opportunity for us to mill. It really depends on what happens here. We can summon the tier cache early on, which is fine.
You want to do it now?
I'd probably chain it now, if anything. Like, if it gets popped, we mill another 2, it's fine. If we miss mill here, then that is what it is. And hand's a little weird right now. And going second, potentially, you probably do just go ahead and side it out, but, like, it is what it is, right? Like, we're not too concerned about that. We do have the Ash.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I think we showed a very weak play, but it's not like we had many other options.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, so this is not a optimal opening.
It's variance. Like, it happens. It's fine.
Oh yeah, this deck's always been a bit RNG, but the upside is so high. All right, so this one brought it back. I think this is the one that like lets you link summon with the equipment spells.
Go ahead and see what they're trying to go for here.
Okay. All right. So Basilisk just summons itself if you control an evil eye. That's inherent. This one activated to summon itself. Or they use a spell. This one dumps like 2 things.
Believe it or not, I used to play Evil Eye.
I picked them up to play them and just never got around to it. I feel like I have too many cards I'm never going to play. I got to try and start unloading things. And then they'll just give them support. Okay. I guess we activate this. And let's change it into draw a card. Oh.
I just don't know. That's crazy.
Oh, that didn't do anything. So you were saying the shufflers might come in. Would that be something we put in for like, what's this? Oh, shufflers.
That's just unfortunate.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll just draw a spellcaster. Oh, look.
Yeah, we'll just scoop. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Not a real situation. It's fine. We opened a broken at that point because we got Perler right now. I would just say reset.
All right. Does it literally reset? Oh, no.
Yeah, it is a reset.
It put it back to the way we were before, so I got to put the evenlies back. All right. Now we're back into this.
There you go. I'd put in the crime, and I'd probably take out. Sometimes it really doesn't matter too much, like what goes out here. It's really interesting because sometimes like I'll take out like a vision or like I'll take out like a Mothman. Let's just go with that. Let's just take out the Mothman. It's a really weird matchup that I'm not really concerned about. All right, Scream Rhino and then Chainlink 2 Rhino. I do want to focus on putting up like a lot of negation here.
What's our mill? Oh, okay. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
It still is going to be tier cache.
Okay.
You want to make sure you have something to banish with tier cache. But that's fine. We'll just use Trivia here and grab Planet. The meta noise is engrave. Unfortunately, with the grave, we don't want to engrave. That's fine. Yeah, the Planet here. Planet effect, grab Pitch Hobness.
Can we fuse for anything besides Garura here? Or
we're gonna pray.
All right. Just to clarify.
Can you pull up the extra deck real fast?
Sure. Which button's extra deck here? Okay.
I want to make sure this is still the correct build. Oh, did I really just take out Redoer? Okay. I had it in there for a little bit. I think I changed the barricade for it for a little while.
Gotcha.
That's fine. We're fine here. I would look at the grave here. We have a couple of really interesting opportunities. I would use the Hobness, honestly, here and just fuse with the Shiren.
Oh, so we're going for Toad?
Yeah, I can go Garura.
Oh, Garura.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then some of the Malio.
No to Planet, right?
Yep. You used Hobness so far. I always try to tell myself like the names over and over so I don't forget. I would go Beatrice in the rightmost zone.
We can write things down, so let's keep track that way. All right.
Then I'd go Beatrice here, detach the Garura. We don't have access to Inseti yet, which is unfortunate. I would just hit no on the chain. Just go through the deck real fast. Honestly, I would just dump the Serpent.
That passed already? Where are you at?
Yeah, it's in the front.
Oh.
Chainlink 2 Serpent.
They already ashed us, so now we're opening it to Bell.
It's fine. We just pull another card out of their hand. They also would just build the Hobness.
That is true.
Crazy. Just bomb it, Toad.
Preference in Grave, Rhino, so we can fuse
Rhino.
with it.
But just tier cache here. Let me check Grave before you do that, though.
All right, we got Rhino, we got the meta noise, which is like the rollback target, so I'm not sure you want to do it.
It's unfortunate. We need a tier cache Grave, though, or else the Toad really doesn't matter here. To be completely honest with you, I'm probably just banishing the Rhino. There's another one in deck. That's fine. I've done it before. It doesn't feel good, but sometimes you gotta.
That's okay. We'll just
I
mill
don't.
another one.
That's the game plan.
Top 3 of our deck. Yes. We hit a card that's equivalent.
Sheer cash.
Ooh.
Yep. Use that effect here for sure. Add Crimson Gaia. And then we'll use Crime here to add back the Rhino. I love having Crime in the deck. That's another reason why I want the Shufflers, though, because not playing those means you don't get access to your Crime. If you're not playing Heartbeat, it's a little awkward. Yeah, we can use that now. Go into our Vision from deck, which is good.
You sure you want the one from deck, not from grave? I guess milling it again doesn't help.
I don't want to deck thin, or I want to deck thin, rather. Card advantage is everything. So here, we want to make sure that we can effectively use our mill and the meta noise, like, to the best of our ability, but, like, there's not really an option to do so without just, like, linking off the tier cache, because we want to make sure that we have a target for the Toad. So I'd probably just directly go into your SP here with the Bahamut and the tier cache. I would just leave it in their grave. They're not on Shifter. Top deck Shifter, because they're playing against tier. I've seen it too.
We're good to pass, right?
Yeah, so we can pass here. That's fine. We're kind of huge chilling right now.
All right. They have to break through Toad to do much. If they really do anything to our monsters, we SP. They're probably not on like Lava Golem because they're normal summon reliant.
If they normal Cerciel and they get SP'd, they're going to have a rough time. Okay. That's getting insta-negated here.
Yoink.
Yup.
I will take your Feather Duster.
Yep. And then I'd fan grave real fast.
Sure. Shark Serpent. Tier cache. I guess technically.
That's fine. Add back the tier cache. Oh, just hit okay. Add back tier cache. I really want to summon Rulk early, but we'll wait.
Oh, we can try and mill off of a Scream and tier cache and maybe hit it early. That way we don't have to commit the Beatrice.
The only reason I don't want to do that is because if we hit away into Kaleido Heart, we get no value summoning it right now.
I figure we hit the Beast King already. We can make it real close.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you just open yourself into like a board break where, like, right now, even if we get broke with like an evenly, we still don't care. So we just chain Beatrice to the evenly. We chain SP to the evenly, target Beatrice and SP, and then we chain Beatrice, and then we banish Crimson and their Duster in our planet. On a new chain, the Beatrice dumps the monster, you summon Rulk, and then you go Screed Mill 3. So like even evenly against this board is just awful. So like I don't like firing off anything too early. I feel like the second you just start using everything right away, you just lose the game immediately.
Fair enough. All right, let me just see. Unfortunately, we've not gotten a big dark on the board to make the Baron with the M City. That would be cool.
Yeah, but like sometimes you're not always doing it either, and like sometimes it's like a free body. Like I was talking earlier about like the Guru situation. Like it is pretty cool. But it's not even that bad. It's a nice little thing to have in the deck. I've thought about cutting it, to be honest with you, but it's still pretty nice to have. I like it.
I feel like it's worth experimenting with as long as you're testing like the Horus cards.
Yeah, because like the Horus cards already do enough by themselves. Like the 3 cards, the 2 Vision, the 1 Crimson, probably just become like 3rd Rhino, 3rd Scream, and Destrudo, because I still think Destrudo is the best way to summon Baron in this deck. It always has been in my eyes. I've been experimenting with this because like you can just do the lines where you go like Darkness Sprint, dump the Vision, and then get the Crimson, which is like real nice, but it's still never going to be like the worst option, which is pretty cool as well. But I feel like Destrudo and whatnot is just a bit more utility in my eyes.
All right. Were there any other synchros you were testing? Just since you're playing, when playing Destrudo?
Realistically, just Baron. I think it's the only one I ever want to play. Baron's just so good. Looks like our opponent does not know what to do about this SP.
Yeah, I guess we'll give them a little bit longer just in case they actually are here. It's hard to tell if they like disconnected sometimes. Okay, he's just properly thinking.
Actually, Pareidolia. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, at least they are here. They didn't really bail. That's good.
Sometimes you really have to look at a board and just be like, okay, like what is this board? Like what does it do? And like I'll catch myself even thinking that sometimes, like, okay, effectively, what does my opponent have? And right now, a lot, because we still have Planet Pop, so like we're doing a lot here.
All right, so we've got at minimum SP banish. We can definitely Beatrice something.
Then we got Duster on Crackback too. That's crazy.
They really thought that the opening play should be Duster.
Yeah.
It's not like our back row really did anything. Except Alex Planet, right?
Yeah, but like we don't get the Melt 3 off Scream, and then we don't get the Planet Pop, and I value both of those.
Of course, but I'm just thinking like I guess Duster's like the bait, really. If they actually had a good hand, it would still be the bait. Just because, like, we're not insured to mill Broken off of Scream. We're likely to mill something useful.
I'm negating that 100% of the time because I'd way rather go for a mill 6 than a mill 3. Because your tier cache is coming down to use to Scream, and that's a mill 6.
All right.
It's not guaranteed, but the odds that we hit something are fairly high. There's the Sergio. I would chain the SP here.
Yeah. All right.
They're going to chain the other one. That's fine. I would, on resolution here, use the tier cache. Send 1, add 1 spell from your deck to your hand. Interesting. Yeah, this is fine. Summon this here. Banish the crime. Mill 6.
Preference on order.
It doesn't matter. If this is rescue, you'd always go chain link 2 Scream. Let's see.
Against Rescue Ace? Why?
Yeah, so they can't impulse you.
Okay, so impulse response to monsters.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess in this case
During the main phase.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've not seen too much impulse against. I haven't played against a lot of Rescue Ace. I haven't been playing a lot lately, but
The highest of DB ladder right now has constantly just been rescue. I know that's not post finite, but I think that's going to be consistent post finite. There's going to be a lot of like rescue playing through bonfire and 1 populace.
yeah, if from DB Grinder lately, I think I've been seeing like Sean Pittman at like number 1.
Yep.
And he's on like Rescue Ace Horus.
I played against him yesterday.
How'd it go?
I lost.
Makes sense. But you get him next time.
I was playing Centurion.
That seems like an easy deck to like ladder up a bit at least, because probably get some freebies.
It's a pretty solid deck. It's like Plunder. I used to hate Plunder, and now I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. And this is another thing too. They actually did have an Ash here. If we would have let that Duster go through, that'd have been real unfortunate. That'd have been a no mill.
We hit Scream.
We did mill the Scream and a rollback. That's crazy.
Do we meta noise this?
So now we can go ahead and Scream, grab Solic. Still thinking here.
Yeah, we don't get a rush.
They're gonna go because if they have Selene here, oh my god, this would be so unfortunate. I would meta noise it.
We got to use a new fancy card.
I was gonna say we could also dump like a needle bug, but we haven't fused with anything yet. This is fine. I would dump the Hobness here, and then Hobness we can make the Rulk.
Considering that they're probably going to have to special to do anything else, it seems solid.
I'd be patient with the Planet Pop here though.
Yeah, that I feel like we can wait to the next play with Beatrice.
Yeah, with Beatrice, because that's gonna be the Kaleido play. That's gonna be dumb early. They're in a rough spot right now. The layers of this deck is insane. Just you got to play through so much because it's not all at once ever. So this is gonna suck because they're gonna be able to dump the spell that's gonna search here, and we don't play the shufflers. They add the Selene here.
They don't have a go. Was this one?
That's gonna search a spell or trap. That should be their token.
And if their last card's a Selene or something.
No, we're actually fine. What?
That summons from.
That summons from Hand or Grave. We just ruled that. Night. Yep.
Should we send the tier cache or we're real close?
We can. But you don't really need to. You could just send like Rhino out of your hand too, which is funny. You could also send a Chiron out of your hand.
All right, so they scooped that. The last card probably didn't do anything. I'm enjoying this use of rollback, even though we're doing it with like the cards that no one is talking about necessarily.
That's fine. I'm about to sweep Vegas.
All right, cool. Let's go back to deck list for a second. All right, at this point, is there anything that didn't come up that we should discuss, and any thoughts on any changes you might make? Because I know you're still experimenting with like the shufflers, whether the dangers are worth playing, the dwellers made it in and out of your side versus extra. I think you even mentioned we were like off of a redoer.
Yeah, so I've been pulling cards in and out of the list for sure. It's just been a lot of experimentation with what works and what doesn't. Sometimes you don't always see like your Horus cards, right? Because it's not always guaranteed to see them. So it's always a little unfortunate. You want to be able to see those when you can, but at the same time, it's understandable when you don't, right? It's whatever. So I think at the end of the day, just realize that if you're going to play a deck like this, like, yeah, you can get high rolled, but you're also going to be doing most of the high rolling in that match, right? So I think that the deck itself plays really nice. So the barricade's kind of not as good as I thought it was going to be. You don't have to worry about using it at all. Like, you can just start milling. And then at that point, you can just slap it down when they hand trap you, when they nib you, and you're like, awesome. Anyway, Kingsark. And then you can just continue play. So to me, I think it's really important to have 3.
Thoughts on maybe like side deck Coach King for time?
You could, but like I
Is it
don't
just
know. I've
easier to
never.
access the other time cons like Sprint Volcanic Shell or something?
I'm gonna keep it real. I have not went into time in like 9 events. I have a motto. It's literally just don't go into time. Like I'm not worried about ever playing a time card.
I think I have trouble closing out games, but I do tend to think my opponents are the reason that the games run that long.
Like for example, when I got second place at Indianapolis, my last round was against Infernoble. I broke 6 interruptions. Their board was Fenrir, Angel Ring, SP, double Gearfried, or one Gearfried and double Emperor. I broke the whole board and killed them. And I looked at the clock, said 11 minutes. I went game 2, immediately started game 2, and said, scoop, going to game 3, because I knew if I let game 2 play out, my opponent could just combo into time. So then we went to game 3. I threw out full board with the Dweller. My opponent couldn't play through it, and then I just attacked for lethal. So, like, as long as you're being very mindful of what the clock is at and try to play at, like, a reasonable pace and, like, make sure that you're always in the know as far as, like, what you need to do to be successful, then you shouldn't have to worry about playing time cards. I think that's just the most of a wasted side slot. Because, like, most of your games that you play are post side. And the more slots that you waste are the worst matchups that you're going to have against even worse matchups that you could be playing against. So that's my own philosophy on it. So, like, I understand where some people talk about like needing things like that, but I don't think I've ever really needed anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like you can always spare like one extra deck side card, like a Cowboy or something. But I do understand not wanting to like play like triple Dogwood or something.
Yeah, no, I don't really feel like I need it.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think that wraps this up. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, that about wraps it up for me.
All right, cool. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.